Hey everybody, I just wanted to take this chance to do this little web extra that I promised in the Breakdowns in Body Forces tutorial. I kind of breezed over doing IK-FK switching in my hands, so I wanted to kind of walk you through a quick version of my process in doing that. It's pretty basic, and a lot of you might find it relatively elementary, but for people who have never really worked with switching between IK and FK hands like that, it might be a little bit of helpful info. So just want to do that for you. Hope it's good info, and I look forward to doing a lot more of these little snippets in the future. So here you go. All right, let's hop into it. I've got little Jose set up in a scene here, and he is going to simply grab onto this metal rod. I don't know, I'm saying it's metal in my mind. And he is he's going to grab it, and he's going to sort of lean into it. So it's going to require me to have to switch from an FK arm, which is what I'm used to working in. I'm very kind of FK oriented in my brain, to an IK hand, so that it sticks to the bar, obviously, and he can continue to lean into it, and his elbow will give and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to focus in on the arm. I'm not going to do any body animation or anything. I just kind of want to show you how I kind of go through the steps of making sure I've got the right poses in there when I switch to IK, and then the nuances I add on top of the IK to make sure I'm, you know, describing the grip and the pressure on the hand. All right, so I'm going to jump in and start posing the arm. Let's get him bent down there. Start to bend him down close to it, so he's a little bit closer. This is fine. Really, all I want to do is have it start. Let's just put it in kind of a relaxed pose. Let's get this hand ready. Right, that looks pretty good. Then let's go to like frame 6. Go ahead, set a key on everything. And let's lean him, let's push him in, and then let's do something at like frame 12 that shows the pressure on it. So it's key there. Let's move the body in. And you're thinking like, wow, when you're posing, you just have to count, you're counter animating all this stuff. And here's why I do it. Because if I start parenting and IK switching right away, and all of a sudden I get timing changes going on, I'm gonna have to go through all those different blends and manage them at the same time. If I can simply pose this out and get the performance beats done to my liking, to the director's liking, to supervisor's liking, to the client's liking, whoever, with the timing and the poses, I can worry about the technical stuff later. That's why. All right, so here are those 4 poses. Again, the starting point, the initial contact before the fingers wrap, the full contact with fingers wrapped, and the pressure that's put down on them. All right, so what do I have to think about now that I'm going to go to IK? Well, first, of course, I have to make sure that the IK controller matches where the FK position is when I switch. Some rigs have that built in. Sometimes you get a script that will do it for you. You can even eyeball it. I mean, there are techniques, you know, that you can go in and you can move that IK controller right where it needs to be. Like you can use a ghosted image of the geometry and kind of match your elbow and match everything. Woo, it's hard. So I highly recommend finding an IK switcher, but this one happens to have it built in. So if I go to this pose right here, my contact pose, this is where I want the IK to turn on. It may turn on one frame, I may blend it across, but I know this is the point where I want it to turn on, and this is the point where I want the IK to end its animation. So I also want to match this, and I will then animate the IK arm from this pose to this pose. So let's go ahead and get this first contact pose in there. So if I stay on this pose right here and make sure my character's selected, I can use this script that is built into the rig. And I can go bam. And all of a sudden you see now that these controls have changed, and it is now an IK arm, and it matches perfectly. Nothing seemed to move. I want to go here, and I want to do the same thing. Match the IK to the FK. Now, what's going to happen if I go into spline into this is that from this key to this key, it is currently going to blend from FK to IK. That blend curve was set to FK back here and IK right here. So it's going to go over the course of those 2 frames there. It's 2 frames. It may be cool. It may work. So I'm actually just going to do it and see how it works. Let me just clamp off that final end. And so let's just go to spline and see how this feels. Put it in auto tangent. So now that we're in spline, check this out. We've got this really crazy rotational thing happening here during the blend. It goes from FK to IK with this one in-between frame that goes wah haywire. And why that's happening is because if you look at the IK controller of the wrist and the elbow, they both have keys prior to this, so they're coming from somewhere. So during this sort of 50% state, there's influence. The IK is somewhere else and it's influencing it. So what I want to do is I want to take all of the rotational and translational nodes, and I want to delete them prior to the point where it hits. And I want to do the same thing to the elbow. Take all the translates and rotates. Reason I'm only doing translates and rotates because I've got blend nodes and things in there that I don't want to affect. So I want to go into the left arm IK blend, and let's go find that. Left arm IK blend. So if I can adjust this space, I'm going to add a key in there, and I can say, well, maybe I want to be a lot closer to it at that point. I'm just going to say I want to be there even on this finger wrap. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to forget that. I'm just going to go to it in 1 frame there. That's actually works. So now in this transition from where it switches to IK, and I've decided just to blend it in 1 frame, it's working fine, to where it begins to put pressure on the thing, I just want to manipulate some of those curves. From the point of the blend, let's look at what's going on with this wrist. Let's actually say that I want to move all of this animation to that. Let's go ahead and move it to that frame anyway. Let's do this whole translate and rotate right there. So all that animation is going to start moving. Look at how much better that already is. Yeah, so it's pretty choppy right now. It looks really posy, but at least I was able to work out the timing of my poses and what I wanted them to do. And then I was able to decide exactly when I knew that the timing of the poses worked out was to everybody's liking. Then I could say when it was going to switch to IK. Then I could, decide how that animation was going to work, getting it into its pressure pose. And now all I'm going to end up doing is going in there and just smoothing out or refining how that pressure feels, how those fingers wrap around the pipe. I'm not parenting it to the pipe. I'm just creating the illusion to the illusion according to the camera, and keeping it as low tech in my department so that I can focus on performance-based elements first and deal with technical at the last possible moment that I have to. All right, so I hope that was helpful. There's a bunch of little topics like that I want to do in the future, just little process snippets. Please let me know what else you want to hear about, and if you have any insight on these particular topics, feel free to share in the comments and let us know how you go about some of these technical issues or performance issues or whatever we talk about. Great. All right. Thanks. See you next time.